So Switzerland may ban electric cars. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this article because this is very interesting and really kind of sad. So Switzerland, that during the winter period, they import additional electricity. Well, now other nations, France and Germany in particular, well, they're looking out for their own. So they may have to ban or restrict the use of electric cars. Just imagine you're some super duper hippie dude, and you bought an electric car and you bought the panels or whatever, and you bought the batteries, and you're still not allowed to drive your electric cars because they're restricted from use. I mean, reality is facing Europe. This move to unreliable, variable, renewable energy, which is disposable, by the way. They're facing reality now in a harsh winter, and hopefully they'll get through it. But hopefully, here in Australia, we will learn some valuable lessons. I don't think we will. I don't think the public pay attention that much, and I think our politicians just follow the votes. So, the Swiss look to ban use of electric cars over the winter to save energy. Oh, there you go, guys, there you go. They're never going to build electric tanks. The European Union jumped on the electric vehicle craze well ahead of other parts of the world, particularly after the Paris Climate Accord. But in typical socialist fashion, they weren't content with simply encouraging people to switch to EVs. Many European countries almost immediately started making plans to ban gas-powered vehicles, trucks, and make EVs mandatory. It's just so stupid. It really is so stupid. The range of these trucks is just going to diminish in the cold. Imagine trying to tow something in European winter with an EV car. Oh boy. Lots of Europeans wanted to get out ahead of the curve and began snapping up the newer models. But then came the start of the war in Ukraine, cutting energy supplies just as Europe was trying to wean itself off fossil fuels. It wasn't weaning itself off fossil fuels. It was dependent on Russia for importing their fossil fuels. It's complete bullshit. It really is. It's a joke. It is just a joke. It's weakening your nation dependent on external powers. Trump was right when he was talking to the Germans, wasn't he? Now, in a rather embarrassing reversal, Switzerland is considering legislation that would ban people from driving electric vehicles except in urgent conditions over the winter because there simply might not be enough juice on the grid to recharge them. What's going to happen? I mean, I'm assuming your vehicle will be fine if you don't drive it for a few months. I mean, you don't need to turn over the engine like in a petrol car, do you? Oh boy. I mean, this is just a complete joke. Switzerland could be the first country to impose driving bans on e-cars in an emergency to ensure energy security. Several media report this unanimously and refer to a draft regulation on restrictions and bans on the use of electrical energy. Specifically, the paper says the private use of electric cars is only permitted for absolutely necessary journeys, professional practice, shopping, visiting the doctor, attending religious events, attending court appointments. So you'll get your fine for driving your electric car to the grocery shop, because it's not on this list. But then, shopping is. Say something that isn't on the list, I don't know, dance recital or something, whatever. You get fined for it, but then you can go to court. And then your car will probably run out of juice there, because it's electric and lame. And then you have to pay the fees to get it towed. Awesome. A strict speed limit is also planned for highways. Most of the electricity in Switzerland comes from hydropower. However, the country also imports electricity from Germany and France. So they're not energy independent. Why? I don't know. Why don't they just make more hydropower? Turn up the hydropower. Can't you do that? If there are bottlenecks there, electricity could also become scarce in Switzerland. Energy security in Europe is considered endangered because of the Russian war against Ukraine. Switzerland has various escalation levels for its energy crisis. The ban on recharging electric vehicles would only go into effect when they reach level 3, according to the draft copy of the legislation that reporters obtained. Prior to that, the government would impose limits on how hot water can be in washing machines. I mean, I don't think... No, I mean, how can you do that? The washing machine heats up the water. I guess you have to change that? Oh, boy. And they would ban the use of leaf blowers and seat heaters in chairlifts. Basically, they will also limit videos from streaming services to only be shown in SD resolution. What? I guess that reduces the power. You'll only get standard def. Oh shit, this is a joke. How pathetic is this? This is the modern world. This is what happens when you go to renewable energy. Okay? You're going to have a cold seat, you're going to get fined for driving your electric car, and you can only watch SD. It'll be like 420p. Oh, what a joke. So much the same as we saw in California earlier this year, the government pushed everyone to switch over to electric vehicles to save the planet. I mean, do people believe that? I mean, it's not going to save the planet. It's not. Most of the energy, even if it's the energy you're charging it with is from a renewable source, there's still a whole amount of embodied energy in the car. And all these wankers who are buying the top of the range car, you know they're going to flip them every 5 years. They're probably buying them on credit and then flipping them again and again. So it's just going to exacerbate the problems. But I'm saving the environment. But now they're warning them that they won't be able to recharge their vehicles except for urgent travel requirements. The crazy part of all of this is that the major energy corporations have been warning everyone about this for several years. The power grid doesn't produce endless electricity by magic. We have to produce enough energy to power it or it fails, but nobody wanted to listen. Yeah, that's going to happen in Queensland. Labor's push for renewables here in Queensland, it's going to end badly. Just wait. It won't happen quick. It'll take 10, 20 years. And we'll start seeing... I'm just waiting for the diesel generators to pump water up to the top of the hydro batteries. I'm just waiting. To put this story in context, consider the fact that in June this year, the EU proposed a ban on new gas-powered cars by 2035. From 2035, newly registered cars and light goods vehicles will no longer be allowed to emit greenhouse gases. It doesn't matter if they don't emit greenhouse gases. There's tremendous greenhouse gases in the manufacturing of the vehicles and the resources. This really is the EU stepping on individual liberties of people. You don't have a car you can drive. They're telling you when you can and can't drive. You can't escape. You can't get away. That's the element of freedom that previous generations didn't have. We're turning into serfs again, aren't we? You can't go more than 5 kilometers from your little hovel unless your lord gives you permission. The decision was approved on June 29th by the 27-member group, the ban on internal combustion engines voted by the European Parliament, which the EU member states still have to approve, effectively marks the end of petrol and diesel-powered vehicles, as well as hybrids, which are currently experiencing a boom. In future, only new electric or hydrogen-powered models will be able to be sold. And the hydrogen one, these things don't have the range, guys, even the electric. I guess in Europe, I mean, in inner city driving, electric is fine. It makes a lot of sense. But if you need to go anywhere of significant distance, you trust it? It doesn't make sense in Australia unless you're never going anywhere. You know, you never want to go camping. You never want to go out bush. You can't carry another battery pack in the boot. You can carry a jerry can full of petrol. 2035 is only a little more than a decade away. If this proposal passes, Europe won't even allow hybrids to be sold. Only full electric vehicles or hydrogen-powered ones. Good luck finding a hydrogen recharging station, by the way. Yeah, no, hydrogen's a complete failure. I was under the impression Europe was a collection of first world countries. Perhaps I was mistaken. I like this guy who wrote this. Jazz Shaw, yes. Well, that's where it's headed. So let's have a talk about this. This is a warning that we need to heed. Moving down this variable renewable energy path is going to be a disaster. It's never going to provide the baseload that we need, the infrastructure that we need to build to mitigate the variable nature of it, to mimic the base load that we can get from conventional power generation is going to require so much financial and energy and carbon investment that it's actually going to have a negative benefit on the environment. Okay? You just have to realize, because this stuff, it's not like you build it and it's there. You build it 5 to 20 years, you're re-energizing that. And when you're re-energizing, it means you're throwing out a significant component of the infrastructure and rebuilding it again. And then you've got to build the infrastructure to store it. The batteries don't last forever. The hydro stuff, that's probably the smartest to do, but that's huge projects. Here's the thing, you've got all these scientists concerned the world is coming to an end. And that feels like, catastrophizing to me. But, let's say they're right. Nevertheless, they're proposing construction solutions. And they've got no idea the impact these construction projects will have on the environment and how to actually get them to the level that they want. It's not going to work. It won't make sense. But, hey, you can be right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll have to just see how it all goes, guys. What do you reckon? As always, thanks for watching. Check out HeiseBim and HeiseSays International. And if you're a fan, you can support us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, My Pocket Squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and go for a drive in your petrol car while you still can. Bloody hell. Imagine that. You spent all the money on the infrastructure and they still will ban you from doing it. You can't. What are you going to tell the coppers? Oh, I charged it at home? Yeah, right.